What's up YouTube community, Bernd here, welcome back to another video lesson. This one is about another topic from the lesson wishlist on Patreon for this month. We will talk about ear training and why it is so important to work on that in a rock and metal context. There are a lot of great ear training videos on YouTube already, but not a lot of them focus on guitar and on this style of music. So in this video I'd like to give you some input on how to get started and how to use all of this knowledge in a practical context. So let's not waste any more time and start right away. I think it's a great idea to take a short break from the shredding to focus on some music theory today. It's great to see that you guys voted for this topic on Patreon too, because a lot of my rock and metal students don't want to learn anything about theory and focus on technique completely. I know that it's a lot of fun to work on challenging techniques like alternate picking, sweep picking, tapping and more, but a solid theory foundation will help you out with all of these topics. That's why I want to make it my biggest goal in this video to actually show you how you can benefit from your ear training skills in this style of music. The foundation you need in order to get started with today's video is knowing about the intervals on the guitar. In music theory, an interval is the difference in pitch between two sounds or notes. So instead of single notes, we are playing two pitches at the same time to get a harmonic interval. And we give all those intervals a different name depending on their quality and the distance between the pitches. When we think in the A minor scale real quick, for example, the minor third A and C actually spans three different notes. When we think in the scale A, B, C. When we think in A major real quick, the first three notes are A, B and C sharp. So we would end up with a major third on the first scale degree and not a minor third. We have the same distance in numbers, it's still three notes, so it's a third, but the actual distance between the two pitches grows bigger with the major third. All of this will make sense in a minute and we will get to the ear training really soon, but for now please check out this quick summary of the intervals across the neck in case you didn't watch that lesson yet. So what has all of that knowledge to do with ear training, you might ask? Hearing and identifying intervals in rock and metal riffs quickly and correctly will be one of your biggest takeaways of ear training in the beginning. Once you're familiar with the name, sound and fingering of each one of those individual intervals, you will be much faster with learning all those cool riffs that you want to play. With a well-trained ear, you actually won't even have to look up the tabs or notes of songs on the internet. You will be able to hear and visualize all those intervals when you're listening to the song, and you only have to translate that knowledge to your fretboard. Of course, it will be incredibly helpful when you're booked for a session job and you have to learn tons of songs in a short amount of time. A first step could be downloading an ear training program that is playing the intervals for you harmonically, both notes at the same time. And melodically up and down with separated notes. You can work on that in the subway, on the bus, in your car, whenever you have some free time. And of course it also really helps to try and sing those two notes to get a better understanding of each interval. With the next practical example I did my best to visualize how I'm seeing and hearing riffs with those basic intervals in them. Here we are only working with the most common intervals you can find in those kind of riffs, and you can stick to learning and identifying those in the beginning since you will encounter them very often. So with this example we were working with power chords or perfect fifths, like this classic E power chord or perfect fifth for example. And this could be a great starting point on your ear training journey. Pretty much every single popular rock or metal riff has a power chord in it. So next time when you're listening to your favorite songs, I want you to actively listen to them and take a mental note whenever you can hear that power chord or perfect fifth in them. Once you get better at identifying the power chords, you can move to the octave intervals, for example. Those are also quite easy to identify since we're playing the same note in a different octave. And the octaves are often used for playing melodies, for example. So when I really want a melody or a simple line to stick out in the mix, I usually work with octaves instead of single notes. So instead of just playing something like, I could make it a little bit more powerful by also adding the higher octave. So this is also something you will need to identify quickly in this style of music with guitar solos and lead tracks. And after that you can move to the very common major and minor thirds. So minor thirds are very often used instead of full minor chord voicings, because they don't always sound good with all that distortion going on. So you get the tonality and characteristics of either major and minor chords with the major and minor thirds, but the interval approach works much better with a distorted guitar sound and in combination with the power chords. So that is the next thing I want you to actively pay attention to when you listen to your favorite music, the inclusion of major and minor intervals. The next step would be identifying the sound of perfect fourths. A really interesting sound that we don't really hear that often, and with that exact concept you can move to the next and the next interval, and you will be able to hear and understand music in a completely new way. This is only one of the first steps of mastering ear training, but it will be incredibly helpful with learning riffs and entire songs much faster. To further assist you and help you with that, I uploaded some very special and helpful ear training practice backing tracks on patreon.com/BERNTH, major third. Perfect fourth. You will make much faster and more efficient progress in your practice routine when you work with these files. And of course, I highly recommend downloading all the additional files from your YouTube lessons over there. This is also the place to get some personal feedback from me in case you need some assistance with a specific topic. A lot of you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet. Make sure to do that right now so you never miss another free guitar lesson again. Make sure to leave a like if you're excited to work on your ear training skills from now on, and a comment in case you have any further questions. If you want to support the channel and the creation of more guitar lessons, you can check out the merch on Teespring. As always, you can find the link in the description below this video, and I'm happy if you check that out. Thanks a lot for tuning into this lesson. I will hopefully see you in the next one. All the best and have fun practicing until then.